afternoon from another hellish quarantine. This is Cinematic Anarchy, and we have a full fucking house today. With me today, we have Miss B.
Hello.
We have Mr. Omar.
What's left of him, which ain't much.
We have Mr. Ben.
Hello, hello.
And we have Miss Piper.
Hi. There's a lot of me left.
Yes, and this is our special guest, Miss Piper, here today. We're just gonna allow her to kind of talk about her for a moment.
Now?
Yeah, now, right at the top of the thing. Before we get into anything else, we want everybody to know who you are. Give you a moment to talk about yourself.
Hi, I'm me. And no, just kidding. Let's see. I'm an actress, a streamer. I've been in a few things. One thing people might have seen, which was I played a transgender woman in a reenactment on the ID channel on Murder Calls, which was an episode called Lost Angel. Recently, a music video that I was in came out, and I'm also working on a TV pilot.
Oh shit!
When we can actually go back to work.
That's the one you can't tell me about.
No, I can tell you some about it. It's called Two of a Kind. I play a bartender named Tina, who happens to be a transgender woman with some dark secrets. I say dark secrets because there's things that are revealed in episode 1. I don't think they want me to reveal those.
Yeah, probably. Let's keep the NDA. Is it NDA?
But it is a story about two friends, a gay man and a straight man, and I think basically, I've only read episode 1, and we've only gotten halfway through it, filming wise. A gay man and a straight man, they realize they're much more alike than they thought they were. And my character Tina plays main supporting cast. It's like if you had I would say Buffy, but Xander and Willow were always there. But Tina's kind of like the glue between almost all the people in the TV show.
Okay, all right. So, a main supporting character, or a...
Yep.
Okay. So, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of background on who you are. You were in one of our, one of Miss B's podcasts recently.
I was, and then I had to go to the bathroom.
Well, the call of nature interrupts us all. It does.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I wasn't calling nature. Mother Nature's a lot nicer than that. That was the demon.
All right, so we are here to discuss a couple of, as far as I'm concerned, decent films, the precursors to a lot of dark teen comedies. Jawbreaker and Heathers. And it's up in the air, whatever you guys want to discuss first.
Can I say I find it interesting that we're talking about these two movies, and I'll just go ahead and put the two movies together for a moment. We're talking about two movies that stars, Rose McGowan, Shannon Doherty, and then Jennifer Rhodes is in it, and all three of these actresses had their heyday on the WB when on Charmed.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Shannon Doherty played, and I'm talking about the original Charm, not that thing they're trying to pass off as Charm now. But they had Shannon Doherty, who played Prue, and then, of course, Rose McGowan, who played Paige after Prue, died. Then Jennifer Rhodes, who played their grandmother, who came back in spirit form a lot.
Okay, and if we're talking about WB, you forgot somebody.
Rebecca Gayheart?
No.
And Julie Benz?
Julie Benz, yes.
Who was on Angel and Buffy?
That was, was that Drew? No, not Drew.
She played Darla.
Darla. Drusilla was
Juliet Landau played Drusilla.
I haven't watched Buffy in a while, so I'm a little behind. Mentally.
I watch it a lot. It's my breakup TV show.
They just offered the full series for $30 on Vudu, so I'm going to pick it up.
Oh, I have it all on DVD.
I like my stuff in ultra high def.
If you watch Buffy in high def, no.
No?
No. I will cut you.
Why is that?
Because they fucked up the lighting and everything. Over half the scenes that look like they're supposed to be at night look like they're done during the day.
Oh my god. That's the worst.
Well, it's like they when they were doing it, because they brought out some of the high def stuff, and they actually put it on Netflix before they took Buffy off. They were like, okay, we already have Buffy on here, let's go ahead and upgrade it to the high def. It's like over half the lighting is so off, it's not even funny. Then because originally it was shot, I want to say 35 millimeter film type shit, and they stretched it out, like they just pulled all the composite that they didn't have. So like there's an epic scene where Buffy and Faith are fighting on top of a roof, and it's before Buffy stabs Faith and she falls off, but like they're hanged up together, but you can see the Joss and everybody else on the sideline with their camera gear shooting the scene.
Oh, okay. That's not good. No, that's bad.
That is bad. That's why I'm like, the high def, it's like if they could take it back and do it right, because thing about TV shows like Buffy and things like that is like there's a lot of darkness, and there's a reason for that. Like there's a reason that the scenes are lit the way they are, but you need to go back to have that. And I think it's just nostalgic to have that grainy feel.
It's better than what Disney did with The Simpsons. Instead of using...
I have not seen that. Is it bad?
What did they do?
Well, they needed to reframe the first couple of seasons because they were in a different format. And so they wanted that like letterbox format almost that most TVs are in now. And so what they did was they kind of stretched it out, which ended up cutting off different things at the top and the bottom, so you're missing a lot of sight gags in the first couple of seasons, just so they could recenter everything.
I know how tall Marge's hair is. I'm just kidding.
Probably that's cut off the top of Homer's head.
Right?
No.
They definitely needed to give Marge a haircut. She had it for the first couple seasons, I suppose. Only on Disney. Only on Disney. So I guess we'll dive into the one you didn't like first. Did anybody else not like Heathers?
It was alright. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I guess I liked it better when I was really young that I watched it. This time around, it was alright. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad to me. It wasn't a bad movie. It was decent, but
I definitely liked it better than Jawbreaker.
Okay.
You liked it better than Jawbreaker?
Yeah.
I love Jawbreaker. I am peachy fucking keen.
We got some road noise.
I understand the fucking the entitled Valley Girl bullshit.
It's one of those things that definitely had that 90s genre to it. Like,
yeah,
it's definitely.
It's a time-locked movie. Like, you're not going to be able to watch the movie and be able to feel like it kind of transcends its own time. It literally is time-locked.
Well, it is time-locked, but at least they've expanded onto it, because they got a musical, and I think Shannon Doherty came back for, like, the miniseries that they had on TV.
I'm sorry. The fact that, like, Hollywood uses fully grown-ass fucking adults to play teenagers kills me every time.
I can't say shit. I was 28 when I was playing an 18-year-old in my first movie.
That's okay. There was a time when they were using all kinds of people and put them in yellowface to play Asian people.
Yeah.
They had Liz Taylor playing Cleopatra.
They had who?
Liz Taylor.
Oh yeah, her gorgeous lavender eyes.
And she was pretty, nonetheless, but
she wasn't Egyptian.
But I can think of a whole bunch of other women that could have played that role.
You know what I do love is that they got Yul Brynner to play Ramses in, was it the Ten Commandments?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sad that he didn't say etc. etc.
This is honestly one of my favorite movies. I mean, I loved Heathers. I've always loved the movie. I think, personally, the performances of both Winona Ryder and Christian Slater probably the best that they personally have ever done.
Yeah.
I don't know about the best.
I would say the best. I mean, you look at Girl Interrupted, which was Winona Ryder's supposed to be comeback movie, and Angelina upstaged her left and right.
I mean, Christian Slater's character kind of reminds me a lot of an ex that I'm not gonna get into, but
Okay.
He probably would have killed all the students that he didn't like.
Here's a question: did Christian Slater do this before or after Interview with the Vampire?
This is way
That's a good
before.
question.
Nah, that's
Way before.
Way before.
Well, Interview with the Vampire was in 1994.
This is
This
way
was
I didn't
before.
know-
96, I think.
When was this?
I think this was 96.
Heather's?
Was it?
I don't know.
Possible. I can look it up. I have it on my phone. Give me just a moment.
If I got the fuck off Sims.
But you know the funny thing about movies is like
Wait.
you can shoot one movie before you shoot another, but the second movie comes out first because they're still working on stuff on the first one.
Heather's is 1989.
Oh wow, I was
Damn.
so stupid.
No what? See,
I was
it's
so
got that It's got that 90s feel, but it was done in the 80s. That explains the. That explains why
sorry,
the
no,
why the rich girls were dressed the way they were.
Yeah.
No, this was definitely way before Interview with a Vampire.
Jawbreaker for some reason and fucking.
That was definitely
That
done
was
in the
99.
90s. I was like, that was definitely done in the 90s. That was when Rose McGowan was engaged to Marilyn Manson.
This was actually just a year after Winona Ryder had done Beetlejuice with Michael Keaton.
That was a good movie. That was a good movie.
She was actually warned against doing this movie because they felt that it was going to ruin her career.
I think she did that on her own. Hello, Sticky Fingers Ryder.
Well, her career was not exactly... She wasn't exactly an A-lister at that point at all.
I would also say I don't think I've ever seen Winona Ryder as like the A-list type or like an A-lister ever. Like, yeah, she was known. I mean, she did, of course, Heather's, Beetlejuice, Mermaids,
Name some
Girl
more movies.
Interrupted,
Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds. That was in the 2000s.
Well, yeah.
But it was.
I was going from like her earlier stuff when she was like a lot more known, way before she did like Mr. Deeds and then Stranger Things.
How to Make an American Quilt.
Was she in that?
Yes.
See, I've never seen that. I just know that the Charmed episode spinoff of that was How to Make a Quilt Out of Americans.
I've never seen that movie either.
I feel with Winona is a lot like I feel about Tom Cruise. It's like it looks like the same character in every movie.
Well, Tom Cruise was like that for a while. Like, Days of Thunder, it was just like, Days of something else. But, I've been watching some of his movies lately, thanks to my boyfriend, and everything. Like, The Last Samurai, I cried a lot.
The Last Samurai was okay, but I mean, it was a movie, but it was still. I feel like every time I see him, it's like the same character in a different movie.
Six String Samurai was better. What?
Jack Reacher was a good movie.
Oh, I was saying Six String Samurai was better than The Last Samurai.
I haven't seen Six String Samurai.
Oh, no. No, he has some good movies. There's no arguing that he chooses some good movie. But to me, as an actor, it looks like he's the same character in every movie. Every movie is the same guy.
Tom Cruise.
You can only
Tom
do so much
Cruise.
with your face. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Look at Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp is the same character ever since he did Pirates of the Caribbean.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. Mm-hmm. Fucking. God, I keep forgetting his fucking name.
What are you playing?
He's the monster guy in every monster movie.
Doug Jones?
Yes! Doug
It's like
fucking Jones.
Hocus Pocus.
Doug Jones.
That underwater porn.
Underwater.
I don't know.
Water.
Like water for fishmen.
Is that
No.
a movie?
No, it's The Shape of Water.
Oh.
But I was kind
Doug
of
fucking Jones.
I was taking a poke at Johnny Depp there, like Water for Chocolate, instead it was like Water for Fishmen.
I was about to
Or
say,
Mermen.
Johnny Depp has been acting the same way ever since he did Pirates of the Caribbean. The only breakaway movie he did after Pirates of the Caribbean was probably Sweeney Todd. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
It was like after when he did Sweeney Todd, that was a nice, like, it was the same atmospheric movie, but his character portrayal was different. But, you know, him, and I don't mind his characteristics, like, of the Mad Hatter and Captain Jack Sparrow as the same type of people, because Mad Hatter, you really have nothing to go off of except for maybe the 90s the cartoon from the 50s from Disney. But, like, when he was playing Tonto, Willy Wonka, it was like, you're just Captain Jack Sparrow with a wig.
It's always the eccentric.
Oh, no, Willy Wonka was definitely not a Captain Jack Sparrow knockoff. Willy Wonka...
Oh, it was definitely, like, he played it, like, almost the same feministic way.
Willy Wonka, I feel like he was channeling half of Gene Wilder's performance, and the other half he was channeling that guy that keeps bugging Chris on Family Guy.
Oh my god!
Tell me.
See, I didn't get that. I just got like Captain Jack Sparrow as a creeper pervert.
Would you like my chocolate? Would you like a piece of chocolate? Suck on these gobstoppers. No?
He whistles when he talks.
Yes.
He does.
Well, Johnny Depp kind of whistled while he talked in that as well.
Yeah, you're right.
He was definitely whistling while he worked. Mm-hmm.
Work done something anyway. So,
Ew.
about Heathers anyway. I'm going to try to drag Mr. Ben into this for a moment, because he's been over here very, very quiet. Yep. What did you think of Heathers?
So, I mean, I really liked Heathers. I'm actually rewatching it with headphones right now. But after watching Jawbreaker for the first time, I personally liked Jawbreaker a lot better.
So you enjoyed Jawbreaker over Heathers?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss B preferred this over Jawbreaker.
It's those typical fucking, like, center click girls that just, ugh.
It's the movie's like the difference between murder and accidental manslaughter. That's the premise being like the Jawbreaker is more accidental manslaughter. This is like murder in the first, borderline terrorism, because he's going to blow up the entire school.
Yeah, well, like, I relate to Winona Ryder, so.
I relate not to Rose McGowan because I haven't gone crazy and gone Britney and shaved my head.
I have.
Oh.
Yes.
Leave B alone.
No? No, I don't know. I don't know if I related to much other than just sort of the way that Winona Ryder was kind of like an isolated entity. Like, she was part of the clique, but she really was not part of that clique at all.
Yeah.
But it was so cliche, the whole, I can be surrounded by many people and still feel alone. I am weird and unusual.
Yeah. It was like the goth chick trying to infiltrate the popular crowd for some reason.
But the sad thing is, she was already in the popular crowd. But I did read, it's like she wanted to go back to her nerdy friends, so it's like, it does insinuate that she was not part of the popular crowd at first.
For my folks that have been on this podcast for a while, do you remember her nerdy friend from another movie?
Wait, what?
Okay, you've been on the podcast with me for a little bit. Do you remember Veronica's nerdy friend from another movie? Thinking?
Can I ask who the actress is?
No, I'm cheating.
You're cheating? Oh, you're
Can I ask
cheating.
who the actress is?
Who the actress is? I'm gonna have to come up with
Is this our fat friend?
No, that's Martha. Martha Dunstock.
Right, the one who wanted to step out into traffic.
Honestly, Martha Dunstock ends up being the friend in the, her best friend in the musical, but not in the movie. Her friend in the movie is Betty Finn, played by Renee Estevez.
I don't even know who that is.
Hold up.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
I'm holding up, and wait a minute. We have a few long pauses on the screen here, just so we know. Hey, we did hold up and wait at least 5 seconds.
Mother.
I'm
on IMDb, and it's only showing me quotes and pictures of fucking Renee Estevez.
Renee Estevez was actually one of the lead counselors in Sleepaway Camp 2.
No wonder there's no fucking thing on her.
Isn't that the... No, I'm thinking about something else.
She's been in a couple of things, but nothing particularly big. Like, Heathers was the biggest movie she's ever been in, really.
Well, that's like Heather Langenkamp. You know her from Nightmare on Elm Street, but not much after that. Although, my boyfriend and I watched a movie recently, and apparently she's married to a director or somebody. She was actually helping with the costume designs. No, I was watching something. It was on... Damn, it was a movie. They went into the woods, and there was a cabin in the woods. Duh.
Oh my god.
Really?
Where they try to bring in, like, at the end, like, try to bring in every horror trope into one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that with Sleepaway Camp too. Like, she used, like, different things that other people from other movies had used to kill. They had some interesting kills on, like, the first one. But, like, once you moved on to the second one, it just was weird cliche shit just over and over and over again.
See, that's probably why I stopped watching Final Destination, because I'm like, I can see all these deaths on 1,000 Ways to Die.
Right.
Omar's over there, just like, yelp.
Heather Langenkamp, well, she was known for those movies. She was actually a big part of 2 TV series way back in the 80s and 90s. She was part of, had a minor role in Growing Pains, and then she was also one of the lead actresses in Just the 10 of Us, which was a TV show about one of the coach from Growing Pains and moved on to have his own show. And she was like the nerdy daughter from that show.
See, when you say things like that, it makes me want to tell you more about the TV show I'm working on, and it's like, I can't.
Well, you can say everything that you want when we're not being recorded for the public.
That is true. That is true.
Right. So don't tell us as a podcast. Tell us as friends off the podcast.
Gotcha, we'll do.
Yeah. we won't say anything to anybody. No, Wes Craven actually had her in a lot of his movies. Like she was also in that movie Shocker that Wes Craven had done. You've never seen Shocker? One of the best worst movies he's ever done. Right up there.
I love best worst movies.
Right up there with Wishmaster.
Did Wes Craven do Wishmaster?
Yeah, that was the first.
You know
one.
What's sad? I actually liked it.
The first one was his. The other ones, the sequels, were not.
I actually liked those. Just wish they'd made more sense in the gore department.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on from Heathers and go ahead and choke on Jawbreaker.
That's not a thing I like to choke on. Let's go for it.
Well, you're not supposed to, but it happens. It happens.
Well, it did in that movie. I mean, when you have a Jawbreaker duct taped into your mouth and then you're placed into a trunk.
Yeah, that was
right. Yeah,
I think that was kind of a message to it. The whole high school clique. It never leads to anything good, in my experience. Then again, I went to very bad high schools.
Well, it's one of those things, Rose McGowan, in that day and era, it's like, you said it came out in 1999? I think that's what B said.
I believe Jawbreaker came out in 99, yes.
It's funny because it's like Rose McGowan's played different roles, like in the Faculty. Was it the Faculty? I think it was the Faculty. She did that movie where she was like a cat person, but I want to say that might have been 2000s with Brendan Fraser.
Right.
I think it was Monkey Bone.
Yeah, Monkey Bone.
It's like I've never seen it, but I have seen a lot of her. Like I've looked at her stuff a lot. Like maybe I'm a borderline stalker on some things. Heck, I just watched another movie with her in it recently because I love that movie to death, which is Planet Terror.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the Grindhouse movies, like Death Proof and Planet Terror.
I'd actually like to do both of those as sort of a twofer for the podcast at some point, anyway.
Well, if you want me on that one, I will definitely be here for that one. Those movies I love, and I watched both of them recently again. Actually, 2 nights ago, I was in a down mood, and I was like, I need to see me a bitch with a machine gun leg. But anyway, Rose McGowan did a lot of things, but like that role was almost like her Devil in the Flesh role, but elevated.
I'm actually very interested in seeing one film that I'm having trouble getting a copy of. It doesn't seem to be streaming anywhere. She had a movie way back when she's a bit younger called The Dune Generation. It's 1995.
That was the one she went nude for.
It was part of a series of films that the director had done. I wanted to see them because they're all supposed to be like, they're supposed to have something to do with each other. Honestly, I wish I had friggin' Seth on the damn podcast today because he used to talk a blue streak about these movies.
A blue streak?
A blue streak. Okay, look, just let me have my old man words, okay? The old man vernacular.
I don't know what it means.
Talking a blue streak. Basically just talking and talking and talking and talking and won't shut up. Why don't you stop talking? Oh. Why? Because I'm talking.
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, I'm not judging you for it. I didn't know what it means.
That's my explanation of talking.
I'm 32. I'm curious.
That's my my explanation of talking a blue streak. No, but that's
I'm talking a brown one.
It's a part of a series by a director called Araki. If I'm mispronouncing his name, whatever, I don't care. There's so many things to seriously give a fuck about right now, and that is not one of them. But this guy...
Too many people give too many fucks about too many things.
He did a lot of early shows movies that I want to watch. He did Mysterious Skin, a movie called Kaboom, 3 Boulevard, but he also has recently been directing. He is currently one of the directors involved in 3 separate, very popular TV shows right now. The current remake of Heathers, 13 Reasons Why, and Riverdale.
Ooh, Riverdale's good.
See, I can't get into 13 Reasons Why. It's so fucking gross.
What's gross about it?
It idolizes suicide. It fucking it puts
it kind of romanticizes it.
There's so fucking many things wrong with 13 Reasons Why.
I mean, okay, I get why you're
upset. First of all, Netflix wasn't supposed to put the actual fucking suicide on the fucking screen.
No. That kind of set me off a little bit. Like, I saw that, and it was just, it was a little graphic for my taste.
After 13 Reasons Why it came out, on Netflix, there was a huge jump in a whole bunch of fucking teenagers committing suicide with little fucking notes and tapes and shit. With reasons. Blaming other people for their deaths. Because they were mentally ill.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly. 13, there were so many warnings against putting 13 Reasons out on screen.
I think I'm going to keep my mouth shut about this one.
Yeah?
Well, I'm not trying to upset anybody here. And, I get people feel strongly about things. But it's then I just go back, I guess, to the being an actress part. It's it is the director's, I don't want to say art, because I don't want to sit here and glorify suicides, because whatever. It's but it is their vision type thing. And maybe it's more of a thing to possibly put out how grotesque things can get. And how, I don't know, maybe more warning signs instead of being, I don't know.
I don't know, I feel like there's a way better way to do it than basing the show that wants to bring awareness to suicide off a book that glorifies suicide and makes it everybody else's fault.
Well, sometimes I do feel like it's,
everybody feels like it's their fault. Everyone who was close to that person is always going to feel like it was their fault because they didn't do enough because they weren't there, because it's not their fault. It's the mental illness that took over and they lost the battle to it. I was dating this guy in 2015, and he committed suicide, and fucking like, so like I have a whole like thing about this, but like I'm totally open to debate about it.
Well, it's like I don't want to get things heated.
You know what?
No, we like it.
It's like,
like that.
it's like I love you to death. Like y'all are awesome. It's like, but it's like, you know, it's one of the things. So many people commit suicide so many different ways. Like people on the outside of the actual illness, like the people are just being selfish, or you know, they just wanted attention. It's like, well, I don't agree with the attention thing, because in order for you to get attention, you kind of have to be around for it.
Yeah.
Yep, I said something
but I mean,
last night to Ben that we're talking about this subject, and I said something last night to Ben, and Ben just kind of put me in my place a little bit. Because I said to him that honestly, at the time, I felt like suicide was probably the ultimate in just being selfish. Thinking about, hey, you know, I'm going to take myself out of this world because I'm doing this for you. This is, yes, right. And then he's just passing it on to me. Dad, you just do it. You do it. I'm not reading this. Okay. So he passes this thing on to me that says suicide is not selfish. The definition of suicide is an act or an instance of taking one's own life voluntarily or intentionally. The definition of selfish is lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit, or, pardon me, I drank a little soda and I should have probably, breathed before I did this. So it says, as you can see, the definitions don't match. When people commit suicide or attempt suicide, they aren't being inconsiderate or only thinking of themselves. For many suicidal people, it feels as though suicide is a way to no longer burden someone else. They aren't being selfish. They're truly unhappy and believe that people will be better off without them. The idea is to make life better is not to make life better for themselves, but for others.
can I agree and disagree?
I mean, it's tough to agree or disagree.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I agree and disagree. It's one of the things in the aspect of the selfish part. It's like you're thinking of okay. It's like I'm gonna have to like backtrack myself, and it's like I'm gonna sound so hypocritical when I say that. At the same time, I guess the selfish part being like the non-selfish part being like, yeah, you feel like you're taking yourself out of people's lives because you feel like you don't bring anything to it or make it worse. The other part of that being is like you're also not thinking about how they would feel without you.
Yeah,
it's a double-edged on that aspect alone. It's a double-edged sword.
Right. Because I mean, maybe you're not being the burden that you think you are.
Right, and maybe it's not being thought about that. Maybe it being more of a burden without you here. But at the same time, I get it. There's a mental illness. There's a mental illness there, and so it's like their brain takes over their heart and such, and doesn't seek, the guidance that it would need to possibly like say, hey, maybe I should ask this person if I make their life better or not.
And this is Cinematic Anarchy's opinion on Jawbreaker. We were talking about Jawbreaker, right? I think.
Sorry.
Oh no, were we talking about Jawbreaker? I thought,
originally
we were. We just went into 13 Reasons Why, which is a high school drama. I see why we went into that.
It was.
I got you.
We were playing 7 Degrees of Rose McGowan.
Oh yeah, we were. I guess I was originally.
It wasn't intentional, but it happened that way. It's fine.
See, I get lost so fucking easy, dude.
Well, this is why I don't structure the podcast. We tried to do structure once and it sucked. One podcast.
It was so bad.
One podcast. And we were like, you know what? We listened to it and we were like, hey, you know what? This sucks ass. We're not doing that again.
It was so fucking bland.
If we want to get back to the point of like Rose McGowan and shit, is like, I love her as a versatile actress. Like, she is very versatile. It's like her role in Devil in the Flesh and Jawbreaker might have been the same, but there were still some differences. Because I would actually say there's a lot more to her psyche in Jawbreaker than there was in Devil in the Flesh. Devil in the Flesh, she was just obsessed with one thing, and that's why she killed for it. And this one, she was more, it's one of the things you can actually see, like, she acted like she was tough bitch and everything else, but you can actually see some hint of guilt there and everything. This was her friend. She accidentally killed her. It's like you only act that big and bad when you're trying to cover up something deep within yourself.
Yeah.
And generally, when something like that has happened, it's generally guilt.
Right. I feel like it was she felt guilty, but she was going like over the top to protect herself above all else.
Yeah. Of course, I wouldn't say she wasn't being selfish with it. This bitch was selfish. What's her name? Courtney in this
Courtney
show,
Allen Shea. Courtney Allen Shea.
And she was Peachy fucking King.
And I only remember that because of how Carol Kane in the movie was saying her name.
I think an unsung actress in that film was probably Pam Grier.
Pam Grier?
She's like an unsung actress in a lot of movies she's in. It's like 13 going on 30. It's like, you've seen her in a lot of things, but you never really remember her, like her name and shit. It's like, you're just like, oh, it's that actress who was in this.
She's a very good actress.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
That's
Judy
also
Greer.
my old lady crush from
Judy Greer. That was who it is. Not Pam Grier. Judy Greer. See, even I got it wrong.
Fucking love Judy Greer in Archer.
Ah, yes.
Is that cartoon show?
Yeah!
See, I haven't seen that.
You have to fucking watch it.
Who does she voice?
She plays this, like, eccentric rich girl that, like, sniffs glue, or eats glue, and fucking, like, she gets off by getting the shit kicked out of her. I love her so much. She plays Cheryl.
I might have to actually watch this now. Because like I said, I love me, like, looking at her and everything. Now, granted, I think she looked better with her brown hair before they tried to do that little short hair blonde makeover on her.
Yeah.
It's like, that was a little grotesque. Sorry, Judy Greer, but blonde short hair made you look more white than you actually are.
Right?
It's like, and I think she's actually a natural blonde. Because she was blonde in 13 going on 30. She was blonde in the Jurassic World movies.
I never, like, recognized who she was until after I saw her name on Archer and was like, okay, so I know the name and I know the voice, but I don't know her face. And
What's the face?
I was always too lazy to look it up.
And now we're sitting here talking about it.
That's what the podcast does. It forces you to look shit up constantly. We're constantly taking breaks to go to Google.
But I loved her. Like, she did. It's like you watch her in that, and it's like you watch how she plays Outcast and then goes into mainstream, and also like big performance of like Rebecca Gayheart, who around I think at the same time did Urban Legends. Is like her versatility going from the main, like one of the main like bitches of society to being the outcast.
Yeah.
And of course the fantastically pervy cameo by Marilyn Manson, Rose McGowan's boyfriend at the time.
Yeah, that's the only reason he got that sex scene done. Which I hate to pull away from it again, but has everybody here seen Planet Terror?
Yes.
The sex scene in that, they actually did not actually shoot that together. Like, her and Freddie Rodriguez did not actually end up being in that scene together. Like, they don't even know how that footage got there.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So like, how did that happen?
That was just, I don't know. But they all swear up and down that even Robert Rodriguez, who was actually, when Rose McGowan did this film, it's like, and I don't want to be completely off topic, but when Robert Rodriguez actually sat down and wrote this, he actually had every actor in mind when he wrote it, and actually suited it to them, and then he was lucky enough to get all the actors for it. And I think because of this film, that's when Robert and Rose actually got engaged and shit. Of course they broke up because now she's dating some type of person. They might be trans, they might not be, I don't know.
Some
might
type
be a
of
them they. They might be a them they. I don't know, but I don't know the specifics and I don't want to be rude. Because Bon Quickly would come and cut me.
Omar dropped out. What happened?
Is it because of what I said?
I don't think so.
Quickly comment.
It's the some type of people comment.
I don't think so.
I was like, because I don't know what to call them. Oh, he's back. I was like, I thought I made you leave without some type of people comment.
That was weird. He dropped out and your volume went way down.
It did?
Yeah. Like the volume at which...
Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you better. What happened, Omar? Where'd you disappear to? Can Omar hear us?
You know, it happened.
Oh.
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. There's a bit of a delay, but I can hear you.
But no, it's
Delay.
like they wrote that film for the actors, and he got like Marley Shelton, Josh Brolin, Freddie Rodriguez, Rose McGowan, and it's like, I don't know, like I forgot where my main point went.
Yeah, so did I.
I don't even. Yeah.
We do that. We talk until we can't remember what we're talking about, and then we're like, yeah, by the way, we were talking about this. We originally were talking about Jawbreaker, and we kind of got off on a tangent.
Oh, we were talking about Rose McGowan's
Love
boyfriend,
life?
Marilyn Manson.
We just talked about Rose McGowan's love life for some reason.
I don't know. Oh, that was the only reason he got that sex scene, was because he was dating her. That's where I was going with that, the sex scene in Planet Terror. Which Rose McGowan at some point got to the point, like, she became such a big name in the 90s doing, like, Scream, Jawbreaker, Devil in the Flesh, and everything else. She got to a point where she didn't have to be one of those actresses who showed her breasts anymore.
Well.
Which kind of shows in the Grindhouse movies, considering if you look at Grindhouse movies, it's all known. Most of them are known for deaths, B acting, and titties.
Well, that's essentially what a Grindhouse film is. It's just a movie you play in. Well, you know what a Grindhouse is, right?
Isn't that where they make meat?
Grindhouse is it's basically a back alley theater. It's a place where you play just kind of low budget sort of B films before they became cult classics.
Now I feel like Anna Faris in The House Bunny when they told her this is not a brothel, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not looking to make soup."
Oh my god.
I just felt really dumb. Do you know what a Grindhouse is? Is that where they make ground beef?
Yeah, no.
Oh my god, there was this guy on TikTok that did like the perfect Anna Faris impersonation. Like, it was scary.
Was it from her when she was like in that movie where she was high the whole time?
Yeah.
Or was it when she was in The House Bunny doing, I'm definitely pro Hawaii.
Oh god.
Aloha.
It wasn't a House Bunny impersonation.
I was like, I love The House Bunny.
I don't know. It was funny. I'll send you guys the link later.
Yes. It's like Kat Denning was in that movie. I think she's an unsung actress. Well, until Two Broke Girls, she was kind of unsung. Like, she's in a Disney movie, and they didn't want to cast her because her boobs are too big.
So a Grindhouse.
Go ahead.
A Grindhouse or an action house is an American term for a theater that mainly shows low-budget horror, splatter, or exploitation films for adults. These films have been in existence since the early 1920s.
Damn, that's a long time.
So, I'm trying to think of
That's not cool.
I'm trying to think of like horror, splatter, or exploitation films from the 20s.
House of Wax. Wait, no,
The
that might
Wizard
have been the 50s.
The Wizard of Gore.
That probably was what, like 1950s?
Probably.
1920s is like silent film.
Was it? Because they did Gone with the Wind in the 1930s.
I think they were still primarily silent films back in the 20s.
Which, Gone with the Wind, if no one's ever watched it, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's like, you know, it's Georgia, it's a movie about slavery and all the other shit. There's so much more to it. But if you just look at the cinematic form of it, like how they went back and hand painted to every scene or whatever on the film, they made that color gorgeous.
So the first talkie, or film with actual vocals, they called them talkies, was The Jazz Singer of 1927. So prior to that...
It was in the 30s, 1939.
Pardon?
Gone with the Wind was in the 30s, 1939.
Yeah. It's like, wasn't Wizard of Oz also in the 30s?
It was.
I believe so, yeah.
So does that mean they actually went back and hand-painted all those scenes for that, too?
For the Wizard of Oz, the Technicolor stuff?
Yeah.
Imagine having to hand paint all that.
Well, they hand-painted all of Gone with the Wind. Now I'm wondering.
Wow. Yeah, Wizard of Oz was the same year as Gone with the Wind, 1939.
Holy shit. Damn, 2 big movies came out, because those are both classics.
Well, yeah, I mean, and there's still things that even parents show their kids now. Well, I wouldn't say Gone with the Wind is. But definitely the Wizard of Oz.
If you're in Georgia and you take Georgia history, more than likely they're going to make you watch it. Well, back when I was in 8th grade, they made me watch it when I took Georgia history. It's like nowadays, it's like, and I understand people upset and everything, but it's like, and I get things happened in the past. It's like, but all the racism shit, it needs to stop. Let the past be the past.
All right, I'm going to pull up.
Okay, so, like, do you guys have, like, a class that's just Georgia history?
Yeah.
We don't have those classes up here.
It's like we had a class in 8th grade that was just Georgia history.
Yeah,
Really?
no, we didn't have those classes up here for, like, Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
See, Massachusetts, they definitely should have had one. There's, like, they're going to have a whole class just on witch trials.
Right. I'm sure they do down in, like, Salem. But I went to, like, private Christian schools, so...
Oh, y'all definitely wouldn't have had the witch trials there.
No.
Not for nothing. I think Georgia. I spend enough time down there to know that I think that a lot of folks down there think they should have won a few wars that they lost way back when.
It's like I won't say we should have won, or I won't say that the reasoning behind the wars. I wouldn't say we should have won, like the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you know, I don't agree with slavery. Maybe because I had a black grandmother.
Right.
Wasn't blood related, but she was close enough to be my grandmother. But you know, I don't agree with slavery. But at the same time, I don't think slavery back then should be the reason everyone's upset now, considering it's not a thing that goes on with us now.
So, to tie up
that whole state history, I think there's only like 3 or 4 states that teach you the history of the state. Georgia,
oh, really?
Texas. Yeah, it's not a thing that happens everywhere.
Huh.
Like, for example, I know Texas for a fact. You learn Texas history before you learn American history.
Well, yeah.
So did we. We learned Georgia history in 8th grade. We didn't learn U.S. history until 11th grade. I remember because I hit some boy with my book when he hit my niece.
What?
I was technically in 12th grade. I failed 9th grade once, and I only failed by 3 credits. So I made sure that I passed the next class because we had 7 classes. Like, we were not on a block schedule. We had 7 classes a day type thing. So of course, you only have to have so many credits to graduate, and those credits are based on basically what grade you were in. So it's like I was in 9th grade, 10th grade, 12th grade.
Okay.
So I graduated on time, but it's like, we didn't. A boy hit my niece one day, and I was picked on because I was the quote-unquote gay kid, throwing air quotes up there for people who can't see, but because this is before I came out as trans, because I went to a redneck school. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Unless you want things chopped off before a doctor gets a hold of you. But you know, he hit my niece one day, and the next day I went to school and threw my U.S. history book, and that thing was thick. It hit him square in the back of the head. First thing he did was look up. So we got into a fight. Thankfully, I won because this is my moneymaker because my body is not.
I did hit a kid with a history book one, but I hit him between the eyes, like right between the eyes. And I was super scared because he was unconscious for like 2 minutes and bleeding a whole lot out of his nose. You gotta understand, I was bullied. Like the first week of every school year growing up, I was bullied because I was kind of chunky and short for my age.
I'm still chunky and short for my age.
So I had to basically, you know, show them that you couldn't bully me. And it was like, usually the first week of every school year, somebody tried to test me. So one time, one of the instances was that I hit a kid with a history book, and I hit him like right between the eyes, like right here.
Damn, they were trying to give you prison life at school in the first week every year.
Well, it was Brooklyn, New York in the 80s. It was pretty lawless. So that wasn't considered that bad because nobody got stabbed or something. Yeah. I saw kids with guns in school in elementary.
I kicked someone out of my house in like freshman year of high school for doing coke off my history book.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of my brother's friends. I come down into the basement and there's like a whole fucking mountain of.
Are you looking for him?
Mountain of coke on the.
What do we call that? A time bump?
She's looking for the coke.
No, I'm looking for my boyfriend's phone.
Are you looking for the book?
No, my boyfriend's phone.
Fucking might be some residue.
No, like, I go down to the basement and there's this fucking like mountain of white shit on my book. I'm like, what the fuck? Put coke on my history, man.
It was having a legend bump.
So dumb.
Speaking of coke, I need some Pepsi.
Why would you leave that out?
Not via any brilliance, anyway. I don't think.
In a house where the mother is like insanely Christian fucking psycho.
Yeah. So okay.
That happened in Devil in the Flesh.
We are going to go ahead and tie up the top end of the podcast here. We've run out of almost an hour. And
that we barely talked about those movies.
Yeah, we talked about Heathers and Jawbreaker
a whole lot.
And well, it actually did its purpose. We enjoyed the movies enough that it sparked conversations about other things. You know, this reminds me of that, and this reminds me of that, and these actors reminded me of that, and hey, I think we kind of stayed on topic as much as we needed to. I think we talked much less than there you go. There's my tongue. We talked much less about Jawbreaker than we did Heathers.
Go watch it.
Honestly, I love Jawbreaker. I love both of these movies. So I mean,
they're both good movies.
I feel like without
that gets me. I can't stand Valley Girls.
No.
Like why?
Ugh.
Yeah, but they
whatever.
Oh my God.
They got theirs. So
the message is that in the end they get theirs. So if that lead to that, it was worth it. I enjoy Jawbreaker now as an adult more than I enjoy Heathers. When I was younger, I thought it was great. But then as a grown up, it was like, all right. I mean, I get it.
Here's a question though: is it that you in fact enjoyed it when you were younger, because of when it came out, and maybe now as an adult it's just dated?
No.
Could that be a possibility?
No. I think it was the whole message of killing the students you don't like.
Well, I mean, a lot of things, you know, when that all happened, you couldn't predict things like Columbine and all the shit that goes on now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess that's also one of the reasons why I didn't take it that serious, related to those incidents. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm in a different headspace now. Back when I watched Heathers when it first came out, I was a loner in school. I had a couple of friends, but I was the popular kid that nobody knew his name. I was known because I was a DJ and all the parties they knew who to talk to. Other than that, I was just by myself. And there was a lot of kids that tried to bully me that I had to get violent with back in those days. And they didn't bully me no more, but I dealt with a lot in school and I could relate. Now I guess I'm old.
Well, here's the other thing. These movies, like a lot of these movies want to portray like the kids who are bullied and all this other shit, and for me personally, they never hit the nail on the head because unless you were actually the one who was bullied, you have no idea what it's like. It's like I was bullied from the time of kindergarten all the way up until 12th grade when I beat up that boy. But based on the fact that I was supposed to be a boy, I was effeminate. Before 6th grade, I was skinny and short. And of course, then the doctor told me I wasn't gaining enough weight and I didn't grow any taller, or I didn't get much taller. It's like, I'm kind of lucky now that I'm really passable because I'm only like 5'5" and I don't have a voice of a tuba. But the thing is that, and this is through different schools because I went through like 3 or 4 different schools before I even got into high school. And it's like, I don't know. I just never felt like they ever actually got the kid who was bullied right.
In none of those movies, that I get. Because I never seen any bully kid that I could relate to in any movie. The thing
and I've never seen the bully kid go from being the bullied and outcast to being like the top leader of something in school.
No, it's always like an underdog story of some sort in every movie that you see with the bullied kid.
But I've never seen the underdog be like. In these movies, I get it. They're supposed to be cinematic glory. They're supposed to tell a story, and you kind of have to exaggerate things and shit like that. But I've never seen the underdog become the popular kid type thing.
No,
that not while he's a kid.
Not in
real life. No, it's like when they become adults and like they make something different of themselves, and like a lot of the jocks and shit, they become like these like quote unquote loser people. But
that I've seen a lot.
It's like that I've seen plenty. But it's like the underdog become the popular kid in school and all this other shit, or just by changing how they look or whatever. It's like, no, bitch, no.
Not in school. Not in school.
No.
Okay. I mean, I was a loner more by choice, not because I couldn't make any friends. I had a couple of friends, and it was always the same people, and everything gravitated mostly around music. I remember we used to use the same 2 or 3 friends. We used to go to the record store, buy records together. We used to save the lunch money and then shoplift from the store when we got hungry because we were saving money for records. That's what we did, and it was just 3 or 4 kids. And it was like the same 3 or 4 kids throughout my whole school life. And then we got changed to different schools. It was the same 3 or 4 kids who would get together after school. So I was never like thought of it in terms of being the popular kid. It was just the friends I hung out with. But there was the popular kids, which were usually the same kids that were trying to bully other kids. Who was usually the same kids that were getting beat up or bullying the wrong kid.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a little something unconventional. It's gonna lead into our second half, just so we can close out the top end here. Nobody could pick the same person. Of the 2 movies that we just watched, pick one actor or actress from the movie. Doesn't matter what we're going to do something with it the second half of the podcast. Everyone gets to pick one. Okay.
Jesse.
Who?
Jesse.
Who's?
Christian Slater.
Christian Slater. Okay. So you got Christian Slater. You have Rose McGowan.
Yeah,
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder.
Okay. Black expression.
Then has Judy Greer. I'm gonna go ahead and take Pam Grier from Jawbreaker.
That was Judy Greer.
I know. It was also there's also Pam Grier
in the movie too.
The cop was Pam Grier.
The cop was Pam Grier.
Oh my God!
That's what we were talking about earlier, and I'm like,
I meant to say Judy Greer when I was talking about it earlier. I did not mean to say Pam Grier.
Both me and Omar were confused. Grier was in the movie too.
I did not know that.
We were confused when you took the left-hand turn into Judy Greer, and we were like, wait, we were talking about Pam Grier 2 seconds ago, who was also a fantastic actress.
Yes, she is.
Cleopatra Jones. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. We will be back after...
Actually, Pam Grier was not Cleopatra Jones.
No. Who was she?
No, she was Foxy Brown.
Foxy Brown. Oh, my God. Who was Cleopatra Jones?
Tamara Dobson.
Okay. Then I am dead wrong. Okay, we will be back in just a moment. Remember your respective actors and actresses.
Got it.
You got it? Okay. All right, and we are back from our sponsors, and I'm going to go ahead and throw my compatriots to the wolves here. We're going to play a nice little Pitchstorm game. Slight variation on it using the Red Flags cards along with the Pitchstorm set. So, we are going to go ahead, and the Pitchstorm here is basically the world's greatest puppeteer in a series of romantic adventures. And the twist to the card is... okay, so I got to pick out a holiday. So it says, cool, but we want this to be the perfect blank movie. So we get to pick a holiday. I'm going to let Ben pick the holiday. We want this to be the perfect what?
Hanukkah.
The perfect Hanukkah movie. So apparently, this is going to be a rather Jewish movie. That's fine.
Whoa.
So,
I am.
Miss B, you are Jesse. Okay? So, as the lead character, we don't know who we're going to make the lead character at this point, but whoever it is, the romantic lead, you have the same favorite music as the romantic lead. However, you are also a 60-year-old virgin and a mime.
Motherfucker.
And Miss Piper, you have Rose McGowan. As the romantic lead, you have the same favorite movies. But you can also unzip your skin and become a lizard person from underneath. And you cry yourself to sleep every night.
Sounds like Rose.
Okay. And... God damn it again.
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder is so forgettable, I don't even want to remember her. Jesus Christ. Your character loves children, only responds to texts with the letter K, and you've been stalking the lead romantic character since birth. Okay, for your character, Judy Greer, you have the same favorite books as the lead character. However, you can never leave Cheesecake Factory, and all of your texts and emails you post online. Yeah. This seems a little weird now. And, of course, I picked Pam Grier. Pam Grier, apparently, is a porn star, loves Nickelback, and yawns every time you start a sentence. So she's essentially bored with life. So, we are making the perfect Hanukkah movie about a puppeteer in a series of romantic adventures. Let's go.
So who's our puppeteer?
Yes. See that I can barely hear you, Miss B. So
So who's a
Alright,
puppeteer?
who's the puppeteer?
let's see. Well, let's make you the puppeteer.
Oh God. Okay.
So
Our puppeteer is a 60-year-old virgin.
yes, the 60-year-old and a mime.
Fine. And he's mine. You know what? I'm down. I fuck with it.
I can't remember what we do. Do we talk about what we would do, or do we act it out?
So like, how does he go about all these? Okay, so never mind. He obviously goes about all his romantic interactions, miming fucking everything.
Right.
He doesn't talk to anybody. No, miming is like a lifelong commitment.
Right. Well, does a mime?
He's on some monk shit with that mime.
Okay. Oh. So you're making him like a full-time mime, like full-time mime and puppeteer.
Fucking mime.
So all of his puppet stories are essentially silent, just with music.
Yep. He carries around like a little tiny clip-on speaker thing. So he has his own little background music.
He constantly has his own background music, right? His own score. He scores his life as he sees fit.
Yep, but he's never had sex, he's never got married, never had a real relationship, because every time he falls in love with someone, he doesn't get out of his mime act, and they're always like, well, fuck this guy. So he's going through all of these romantic adventures.
Okay. So, Romantic.
And I
So
think,
what he does is this.
I think we should make Judy Greer's character like as eccentric as she is on as Cheryl on Archer.
Okay.
Just fucking psychotic, loves the getting the shit kicked out of her. Fucking like
This is your character.
She fucking like eats glue and shit. Like
You say that out loud,
Masochism.
right? He just whispers it under his breath. Masochism. No, you need to say that shit out loud. Huh? What? Oh yes, my dog is rolling around on the floor over here. Anyway. Okay. So is that romantic adventure number 1? Do we split this up like several acts?
you can't hear me.
Whoa.
I can't hear anything. What is in the background?
What was that?
Oh, I guess it was Piper.
That was Piper. She clocked out for a moment. Burr, 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 burr. What was that?
I got a phone call, which means once that happens, I can't hear you and you can't hear me.
What I heard was, it sounded like I had been immediately connected to the loudest fucking TV ever.
Right.
Sorry. Oh, it also throws this on speaker.
Oh, yeah, we don't want to do that. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So I feel like this is a movie that should be like set up in, seeing as it's 4 separate romantic adventures, it's set up in 4 acts, all of which ends with the puppeteer still 60 sexless and alone.
Yes.
Well, that's easy for mine because mine would have to tell him a deep dark secret, which is that she can unzip her skin and takes out contacts to hide her lizard self.
Right? Okay.
She's totally cool with telling him this because she knows he's never gonna tell anybody.
Exactly. He can act it out all he wants, but that secret's never getting
ever
out.
guess that there's a fucking lizard person.
Right?
Politicians are lizard people.
It's like, and they found this out because he was watching a movie. She happened to be walking by. He was watching it on a projector on a barn.
Okay.
And so she happened to be coming by. He's 60 and a mime.
60
and
and
loves
a mime.
music. She was coming. Oh, it's a romantic comedy, so of course there's something to do with some type of school somewhere or some fundraiser. So, she's coming by to grab the music of a mixtape or something that he made for some certain event that was happening, and saw a movie he was watching on a projector and decided to sit down and watch it with him. After watching several movies, she says she's getting a little too close, so she's like, "I got to tell you a secret," unzips her skin and be like, "Hey, baby," and then he freaks out all silently and shit and grabs his dolls and runs away, and so she's left alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see him just kind of panickedly, just kind of, he's watching the movie, just kind of puts everything down, just gives her the 1 second sign, and then just kind of turns around, starts slowly walking, and as he's walking, he's just picking up speed until he's just full tilt running for the fucking woods. Just out of there.
Because she's a nice lizard person, she doesn't chase him to kill him. Because this is a romance.
Just kind of shrugs, zips her skin back up, and goes about her business, Oh, well. You can't accept me for me.
But she doesn't put the contacts but back in. She's giving her eyes a break.
What's a few scales between, lovebirds? Yeah.
Apparently a lot on her skin.
Yeah.
Hey man, it happened in Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's very true.
I never liked Doctor Who.
Hell, it happened in
Interspecies lesbian relationship with a pet potato.
happened in The Shape of Water. Okay, what kind of romantic scene do you see for Winona Ryder? Omar, you're Winona. Oh, you're on mute right now. Ah. Okay. What kind of romantic scene do you see for Winona?
Let's make Winona a villain.
Okay.
And she's in love with the main character. And she wants to get with that guy at all costs. But then he doesn't pay any attention to him. He doesn't pay any attention to her. Because her face is always like this.
Okay.
Typical Winona.
So she's like the antagonist in our romantic movie.
She is the antagonist and she is very evil. But her facial expression never changes. She says,
Okay.
yes, I'm gonna kill her. And she starts plotting all these evil things that she's gonna do with the same blank expression in her face. Which sounds like something Winona will do just fine.
Okay, just Just blank the entire movie. No expression. You're not allowed to act. Just stand there and deliver your lines stone dead. That's all I'm asking.
She's like the Terminatrix.
Yeah. Kind of like the Terminatrix.
See, I like that. Now we can knock this down to a 3-act movie instead of a 4-act movie. You know. That way, she's basically just fucking with the lives of the other people that he's trying to get with.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Because she's obsessed with him.
Okay. So I've got Pam Grier, as a porn star who loves Nickelback, but is apparently very bored with him because every time he opens his mouth, she just fucking yawns. So I want to say that he doesn't know that she's a porn star at first. They meet in a coffee shop. She's I guess she's an aging porn star at this point because she's probably 60, 70 herself at this point, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't realize that she was or is still a porn star, and she meets him in a coffee shop at some point, and they kind of hit it off without him having to actually even say a word. He buys her coffee, and she realizes he's a mime and kind of falls for him only because he's unlike every other guy she's ever had sex with before. He won't talk, and just lets her talk. Which is interesting, because she has this trait that says that she yawns every time he talks. So does that mean every time he tries to mime something, she yawns?
I guess so.
He mimes things and she's just like, oh my god, why won't you stop talking?
Or why won't you say something instead of fucking miming it?
No, I like it the other way. Like I want her to actually treat his mime like he's physically speaking. And she's so bored with him miming.
Okay.
She's just like, why won't you stop talking and listening to me? Just listen to me and what I have to say.
Or maybe she's just like, I'm tired of your hands doing all this. I'd rather than be doing this.
Well, no, because she's getting out. She's trying to do something separate from her porn life. She doesn't. So she's not interested in having sex with him at all.
Oh, no wonder she's still a virgin.
This is not going anywhere past first base. Period. Nowhere past first base. And by the way, can I say how funny it would be to see Christian Slater making out with Pam Grier? I just want to make that happen. That would be funny. Just, it would be entertaining. But yeah, I think that whole thing ends up with Winona Ryder, her evil self, slipping him a DVD, a compilation of her best scenes. And it freaks him out enough that he runs the other way because he's a 60-year-old virgin.
I dig it.
Okay. All right, you're up. Your romantic scene. I left you to last. Judy Greer. You remember your character traits?
Not at all.
What were your character traits? Oh, so you like the same books as the mime it has. However, you are stuck in a Cheesecake Factory. So basically you can never leave Cheesecake Factory. You sleep there, you work there, you eat there. And you are so obsessively open that you post all of your texts and your emails online.
I have absolutely no idea how this game works.
You don't know. You're making up a story. You're basically we're making up a romantic interaction between you and the 60-year-old virgin puppeteer.
Oh my god.
You don't know?
I have no.
He has no clue how to do this. Let's make up a scene for him then.
Yeah.
He's just
Okay,
I
the
got no
mime
clue.
goes into the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, remember, Judy Greer's character is, like, insane. Like, fucking eccentric, psychotic.
Which she won't mind posting up her bruises and stuff all over her social media.
So what? She's like the drunken bar brawler of the local Cheesecake Factory who lives in the back room?
No, there's a secret dungeon underneath the Cheesecake Factory.
Yes.
You know what they say about
It's a
Cheesecake
PDF.
Factory Fight Club?
No, you can't talk about it?
You're not allowed to talk about it. That's why nobody knows that it's there.
But she posted all over the internet. Because she posts her texts and everything else. So she's
not-
like, look what I did.
You're not allowed to talk about it. However, she's obsessively open about everything, so she just posted
Exactly.
online.
So it's like, she's sitting there talking to him, and he's sitting there miming shit, and she's like, look what I can do. And starts showing him, like, her Facebook and shit.
Okay, you guys have watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right?
Yes.
Okay, give her, like, a fucking, what's her fucking name? What's her fucking name? Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The crazy bitch. Her character's name.
You don't know her name?
The character's name. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, God. Gina.
Gina, okay.
Gina fucking personality.
Okay, so she has
What's
a
her
Gina
personality?
Just a kind of a tough SOB.
Oh, no wonder she likes.
Also,
No wonder she's a masochist.
Glue.
Oh, and she sat down with him, and she had a glass of white stuff. He assumed it was he assumed it was milk, until she took a big drink of it, and over half of it was still in her mustache. And then he realized it was glue from sniffing it. And of course, he starts miming a little high.
Okay.
From sniffing glue.
I like that.
And he realizes this is also not the one for him. He doesn't want the lizard bitch. He doesn't want the ex-porn star, and he doesn't want the crazy masochistic glue-eating heifer.
Okay. I want there to be one Fight Club scene. There's going to be 2 fights in the Fight Club, right?
Oh, well, that's easy.
The first one?
Yeah, Judy Greer and fucking Winona Ryder.
That's the second one. That's when Judy Greer gets her ass kicked.
Well, the first one would be when the lizard bitch comes in and sees him and her at the table, and she gets a little jelly.
Oh.
Because being a lizard bitch, she can't find anybody, so she's still a little hurt that he was put off by her, and, you know, it's one of those things, like, it's a close call. You think lizard bitch is going to win, but no. You know, Judy Greer, she's all into this shit. She likes to get the shit kicked out of her, so it's just turning her on. So she gets more into it. She's like giving it all back, and next thing you know, she like hits her with a bar stool, and then she pours all her glue on her face.
I picture this like entire arena being like surrounded, like it's like almost like an octagon kind of situation, but it's surrounded by like rabid B-list comedic actors and actresses. They're all just shaking the cage, just foaming at the mouth for the fight.
You know, if there's a big movie or convention or something happening at the outside of town, they come to the Cheesecake Factory and eat and everything. So everyone is cheering them on until like Judy Greer like kicks Rose McGowan down a flight of stairs that leads into the dungeon, and that's when things get really kinky.
Get like a friends reunion up in the Cheesecake Factory.
I see like on one side of the cage you got Patton Oswalt like aggressively eating a cheesecake. Just aggressively eating a cheesecake. And then you pan around through the crowd as you're seeing like the other actors, and on the other side we have our favorite running joke. We just have Michael Cera sitting there being Michael Cera. Just staring. He's not aggressive, he's just sitting there. Just watching the whole thing. Yeah.
Is there anybody famous for eating cheesecake? Or eating cake?
I don't know.
Maybe Tina Turner is sitting there eating a cheesecake, and then like next thing you know, the brawl's getting so close to her, and it knocks the table, but she grabs that cake, kind of like Jimmy Buffett did in Jurassic World, where he grabs his margaritas and runs.
I was thinking more
like she was not letting that cake go.
I was thinking the kid from Matilda.
Yes!
Oh
He's sitting there eating his cake, and he grabs his cake and like just moves it just a little bit and keeps eating and watching.
Just keeps eating the cake.
He's just like eyeing them like hatredly. Like,
you just have the headmistress and that kid reprising their role. You know, just in the background. He's eating the cake and she's forcing him to eat the cake, and I'm gonna eat this. No, don't interrupt me. I'm gonna fucking eat the cake.
Don't interrupt. Rude.
Rude.
And Bon Queequeg is behind the counter serving shots and everything, and just like she's just like, oh shit, oh hell, oh hell no. God, this almost turned from like a romantic comedy type thing to like one of those stupid parody comedies.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, the second we had the 60-year-old virgin mime, it was already a parody.
Yeah.
It was already going that way. But that's fine. If you get a chance to go back and listen over some of other podcasts, the back end of the podcast, we did a lot of Pitchstorms, and that's pretty much what they all turned out being. Just sort of kind of funny movies, something we'd like to see.
But now we need to hear about the fight between Judy.
Judy and Winona.
And it has to happen at the Cheesecake Factory.
I think I don't know. The end of the movie is this fight scene, and then the puppeteer dragging his puppets behind him off into the sunset as he's running away from Winona Ryder.
Well, that has to happen only because maybe Judy Greer stays in the Cheesecake Factory because she can't leave the Cheesecake Factory. So, like, Winona, it's like you said, Judy Greer gets beat up.
Why don't it kill her?
So she kills her. So she throws her out of the Cheesecake Factory. She disintegrates into dust.
Literally, there's something about the barrier around the Cheesecake Factory. It's a curse if she ever leaves. Yeah.
She dies. So she disintegrates into dust.
So now we have some kind of ancient fairy tale curse in this.
Yeah. I mean, we've already got a lizard bitch in here.
Yeah. Belfast bar brawler of the Cheesecake Factory. Give her an Irish accent.
Maybe it's a curse Winona Ryder put on her.
Right.
Since she's so in love with this mime, and she's seen him talking to her and this other people. Maybe she put the curse on Judy Greer.
I was
maybe this isn't the first time Judy Greer has taken somebody she liked. Maybe in high school they knew each other, and she did that same type of shit. So she put a curse on her to keep her in the Cheesecake Factory, so she would never have to deal with that again.
That sounds about as plausible as anything else we've ever talked about.
Yeah.
It works.
It kind of brings back those 90s movies we were just talking about.
Right. All right.
Underdog.
I gotta head out.
All right. Well, I think we're going to tie up the podcast anyway. I think we were kind of at the end of our proverbial Pitchstorm rope.
All right.
So I want to go ahead and thank everybody for showing up today. Miss B, Miss Piper, Mr. Omar, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Ben, for what little you did say, thank you. That's your response. Okay, All right, and we'll see you when we see you. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye, yeah, right?